Hi, this is Sharon at fitinfun.com, and I'm showing you a jar of garlics, you know, the little, what are those, cloves, and they're in some garlic oil in a jar. On top of the jar is a cafeteria-lady glove that can pull off, kind of yucky, and then when I'm done with my thing, I just pull this back down and kind of seal it up, and it sits back in the fridge. I make these garlic oil concoctions every 2 weeks or less, 2 to 3 weeks maybe, I don't know. When I run out, I make it again, and normally it has more oil. For some reason in this time I made a lot of garlic and there wasn't as much oil, but normally it's the other direction. And also I didn't cook these garlics as much. Usually they're a little browner than this. But here's the deal on this. Garlic is on my list of foods I hate, and I have that list, and it's about to be a blog post, and you know, it'll all be linked in here, but it's a post I've been wanting to write for a long time. I have a lot of foods that I can flat out say I hate that food, and I never want to eat it, but oh my god, look at me now. I'm thin and I eat that food all the time. Isn't that odd? So, garlic was definitely one of them. Any kind of strong garlic flavor in a food just isn't my favorite, and I just, regardless of the health benefits of garlic, of which there are many, I would always choose the non-garlic food, whatever the choice was. And if food that had a lot of garlic, I wouldn't want to eat it usually. So as I started researching and thinking about foods to keep the variety in my diet, garlic kept coming up. You know, I'm always looking for different things to eat because that's part of the whole deal, is me to improve my diet. I have a lot of fears and upset about food. I've been fat my whole life, and this is a struggle for me, even though I've been thin almost for 2 years. 2 days from now, it'll be 2 years that I declared my goal, that I reached it. So what choice I made is, with these kind of foods that I don't like, find a way that I can like them and start using them and see what happens. So what I'm doing with garlic now is I make this garlic oil, and it's a very simple process. I'll put a description, and I'm using someone else's recipe, so I'll link to it. But really, I mean, you don't need a recipe. You put oil in a pan, like a small saucepan. You put your garlic cloves, which are already peeled and, you know, cleaned to as nice as you want them, in that oil, and then you put it on low heat to a point where the oil starts bubbling. And you know, I can describe it now, but when you see it, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's not boiling, but there a whole bunch of bubbles will start coming up, and you're supposed to keep it at that bubbling level for 5, 10, 15 minutes. You got to really watch it. You don't really have to stir it, but you need to make sure it doesn't start boiling, and you're watching your garlic to make sure your garlic doesn't get too brown. And in this particular batch, I was way too quick, and the garlic is not even brown, so it doesn't matter though. And what it does is the garlic becomes much smoother in taste. It's not as sharp or biting. And the second thing that really works for me on my arthritis issues is that garlic, just to work with it with my hands, and you know, read my blog. I've got all kinds of problems with my rheumatoid arthritis in my hands and my fingers and everything else. So picking at garlic is not my skill. And the next time I make this garlic, I'll go through and show you exactly how easy it is and how it doesn't hurt my hands. But the more important point than that is that using this garlic is very easy. And I can dig a few cloves of this out of this oil, put it on a plate, and smash it with a fork. I don't have to cut it. You know, I smashed like, you know, a few times, and it becomes like a garlic paste almost. And I throw that into whatever I'm cooking, or if I'm putting it in a salad dressing. And you do get the garlic flavor. The oil is garlicky, and the garlic is garlicky, but it's not strong and oppressive the way I used to think it was. So this is my first step to liking garlic, and or even not even liking it. I don't care if I like it. I just need it in my diet, so I need to at least tolerate it. And this has turned out to be very good. Worked out well for me. When I found out about making this garlic oil and that procedure I just told you, there's all kinds of internet advice about you have to separate the garlic from the oil, you have to do this or that, you store it a certain way or whatever. And if you don't do all those steps, you're going to get botulism and die. So do not take my advice on how to make this garlic, because you might die. I, however, have made this garlic this way and kept it in the fridge. It never stays more than 2 or 3 weeks. And I'm still here. I'm not dead yet, so I'm going to continue. But don't do it, because you might get botulism. I hope you're fitting in fun with everything that you do.